Hey everybody, welcome back to the forge. We're gonna finish up the roses. We're on the very last video, I believe, of the flower series. And so last episode we talked about making these up. You should have 2 of these up, and you should be roughly this far along with your sample and have this welded up. And as I told you, I was gonna take that to the belt sander or use the grinder, whatever you have, and smooth up your braze. See, and as you can tell, it makes for a nice little base. All right. I spent a few minutes wire brushing by hand and whatnot. For example, like I use the stake to wire brush the rosebud like this. Okay. And you're going to use the stake to keep kind of going and fold the petals down. So now's a good time to look at the bud itself, and if there's any imperfections that you don't like about it, now's the time to true it up. So as you look at mine, you can see it's got some bends in it, and a couple of places it's not quite flat. I mean, excuse me, it's too flat. I want it round. So now's the time to work some of that out. And get that stuff worked out. You can check. I feel pretty good about that. I like how round I am now, so I'm going to go back. The next thing, as I said, if your patterns are loose like mine are, that's no big deal. It's really not, because once everything gets crimped and folded, all of these little petals are touching each other down deep, and they're all in a bind, and they're all and they can't go anywhere. So that's why I was saying it's okay. It's not a big deal. Things you're going to want for this one, for the tools, you're definitely going to want some small needle nose pliers that you've radiused. You're definitely going to want these little jeweler scrolling pliers. Super versatile. If you're even going to get into making these and all the different kinds of flowers, you know, you got to find some of those. And then of course take a regular pair of needle nose pliers and bend them like that. These are going to be handy. What else am I going to have here? I'm going to possibly use the big ones here. Okay. And for sure, I'm going to use these large ones, because as I'm shaping it, this is going to help hold it together while I work the copper. I don't want it to fall apart. So we're going to take some time here and shape out the rows, and then the last thing I'll do is I'll climb up and go turn the bottles on, and we'll braze this on. All right, so don't need the, well, yeah, I do need the ball. All right, so for right now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look and see which petal wants to naturally come up first in the middle. As I look at it, I want to say it's this one here. It's just, you can see how deep the folds go, or I can. And I would like it to overlap. So I'm looking at the rosebud, and it looks like I've got a little bit more on this side than I do on this side. So I would like that one that I believe is going to start, I want it to overlap first. I want that one to start. So I'm going to kind of spin it. See, it's already tight just by spinning it. And that's another reason I was saying, so just by spinning it, it's all tight now. So don't worry about it. It's going to get loose. It's going to get tight. It's going to do all that. All right. So looks like they're right there. Okay. So we're going to start by pulling this one up. Now what you kind of got to do is get the flower, and you can't just like bend it, because if you bend it, it's all going to bend away from the center. So you have to pull at the same time. You really got to pull the petal and make it bend up like that. Get it all down there at the bottom. All right, so once you get this one started, fold it around like this. Take it back to the stake, and you're going to start tapping these around just like you did the big one. All right. So what else do we have? What's the next one? I'm going to come across probably right here. I like the look of this one right here. Again, just get it started, get your thumb underneath it, get down deep, pull up on it, fold it over, bend as low as you possibly can. Okay. Kind of shape it around. You can do some of this by hand, put it back over the steak, and work where it turns. Work where it overlaps, work that sharp corner. Try to tap it down. Pull it up and I'll check again. I'm not too terrible. This one should go next. And I'm going to fold that one around, back to the steak, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to repeat this until we get them all down like this. All right, that off of there. Take a look, doing all right. So what's next? What's next? What's next? Okay, I got a little bit of a wrinkle here. And this is why it's nice to have your snips handy. We're going to pull this up and get it started a little bit. And then I'm going to come in here and relieve it a little bit so it has some room to fold. Have a little less of a sharp corner. Just get in there and cut that. Let it fold up. Go around like that, put that back on here. Feather those petals around, get them to overlap, tap the corners. Try not to hit your finger because it's kind of smart. All right, I got one more right here, so I'm gonna pull that one up. Push it around like that and do it again. In the very first video, if you remember, I showed you this piece of channel iron that we had that had a bunch of steak tools on it. And those steak tools are for just bigger flours. They're just bigger ones. And as you can see what I'm doing here with the tongs. I'm kind of grabbing it here. As I said, it will be handy to have these. Okay. Not bad. I'll take it. I will take it. I will take it. Okay, I got myself a little sharp little something at the very, see when I relieve that, do you see that sharp little piece right in there? You might want to get rid of that. I do. I don't want to lay myself open on it, so I'm going to get that out of there. The next thing is pick it again, pick another place where the first petal wants to start by itself. And before I even do, well, yeah, I could see where I should come in a little bit. So I'm going to come in a little bit on that one. That one looks good. Here's where you really want to make sure that these are, where the leaf is relieved deep enough to come down inside there and really wrap around the outside pretty good. Okay, so time to start an overlap. So see, I've got a two here. I'd like to have this petal come up right there and cover that one. And on the opposite side, these two, I'd like to have that one come up and cover that one. That's the kind of, that's what you're looking at when you're making these. So again, pull up when you bend this around. Try to center it up. If you can sort of see in there, I kind of difficult to see. I know our light is really, really wonky, but ever since we changed to these lights, I hate them. They're just, I mean, it's great light to see what you're doing, but it's just not the best. All right, let's see here. Where's my ball? All right. Trying to get this part to get down a little bit better. Make sure I'm still overlapping the way I want, you know. Okay. Like I said, the roses take some time. You know, this is probably going to be over an hour total time. And when you just, after you already know how to make them, they're still going to take, you know, over an hour. You know, I mean, it's just going to take that long. There's nothing you can do about it. All right, let's see which one's next. I like this one dead opposite. Like I said, I wanted it to cover that up, pull up, and fold it around. There we go. We're getting there, folks. All right, so getting there. See how it's starting to take you form? Take you form. All right. So, well, heck, this one can just come up. There's nowhere else for it to go. And this one can come up next. Oh, got my shirt hooked. All right, let's see. Kind of bent my leaf. I gotta pull it up out of the way a little bit. Okay, down to the last one. All right. That's the last one. Back on the stick, and let's bring this one down. Okay. All right, so now we've got something like this. And we're ready to start to open it all up. It's kind of easiest to start from the outside. Some fellers like to make the bud on the very inside, but I like to start from the outside and work my way in. So we're back to our fancy shaping pliers. You'll use your ball peen probably a little bit later, not too much. Let's see. Yeah, you'll use the ball peen a little bit later. We're going to use these, and we're going to use obviously the little jeweler pliers like I talked about, and the needle nose. And we're going to use this big guy right here because this will actually hold everything down pretty good. Now's the time you can also squeeze stuff in. And I'm just gonna get that to get some of these petals to just round out at the bottom a little bit more. Okay. As I said, these are going to be handy to hold against while you bend, so you can keep everything together to get started. So first thing, I'm going to start to pull these and pull them back a little bit. And much like a lot of the other flowers, you don't want to try to do it all at once. You want to just sneak up on these bends and these curves. Definitely don't want to do it all at once. It's okay to leave a little wrinkles and whatnot in the petals because As you know, roses have plenty of little wrinkles in the petals sometimes. And that's the first step, is to start to work your way around here and get these bottoms here. You're going to go back and forth with the pliers, but get the outer one to get to start with these types of pliers right here. Anyway, so when I started making these flowers, I might have said in another video, you got time for this story? Something a good friend of mine says. I was probably in my 20s, and we made all of these crazy tools and the silly workbench and all that stuff when I was in my 20s. And we were going to start a thing called Forever Flowers. And obviously there are flowers that last forever. And we made a whole bunch of them up and go down to the fair, the 4th of July, and pay for the booths and do all the fun stuff. And yeah, we did all that stuff. But we just found that the amount of labor it takes to make them, there's just no money in it. And boy, we tried. And I mean, I got it to where I can make a rose. And back in those days, I can make one for like, I don't know, I was trying to sell them at $75. Which seems like a lot for this, but when you factor in the fact how many hours I'm going to have in it, cost of copper. Okay, so here's where I'm at so far, sort of. I'm starting to open up the outer. It's not laying open enough for me. You can see where I need to get to. So here's where the bigger, where'd they go? They should be in front of me. I got so much stuff. Here we go, the big ones right here, right? So now I can get in here a little bit deeper, and I can influence the shape of that petal with the shape of the pliers to lay back. Okay, let's do that one too. Let's get in here and do this one. Woo! Sharp, 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 sharp. Everything sharp. So I was saying, get used to get cut in the very first video, because you will get cut. Definitely will. My hands are pretty dang tough after doing this for so long. I've been a working feller forever, so hands get pretty tough. Most fellers that work with metal, and you know, if you're in a shop environment, even if it's a wood shop environment, your hands get pretty tough. My experience is, you know, only guys that really don't work, you know, they don't do any real work, their hands are pretty soft. So here you can see why I'm using these tongs. It holds everything together while you peel this stuff back a little bit. Lets you hold the body of the flower so that you don't put too much stress on the very bottom of the flower when you're trying to peel this stuff back. You know, if you're backing it, it really makes a difference. You're probably noticing all the natural little ripples and bumps that happen from shaping. I used to texture these in the very beginning, but then once it was all said and done, I'm like, I can't see anything that I did, and all the plier marks have completely taken over. So I just started letting the plier marks become the texture. I haven't had too much trouble with that concept. So okay, so I've got that one opened up a lot more, enough to proceed to the next one. You'll constantly be fine-tuning this, by the way, as it goes. So we're going to go a little more. So back to the small yellers, and start to get them started. I could probably do a lot more of the curving with the small yellers because I'm at a medium-sized pattern now. But keep them handy. You may go back to the biggers. First step is really just opening it up. Obviously this is an open rose, right? So if you really want to get good at making the closed bud roses, well, you can. It's just more about just starting and rolling all these little tips down, and you really have to be a lot more careful with the bottom and get that shape better. Um, I like the open rose. Most folks make an open rose. The bud itself is very, very tricky to make a very beautiful rosebud. If you're going to just do a rosebud like out of steel, what I recommend you do is just one pattern. Take one pattern, weld it to a star and a stem, and then sit there and open it up and you know, just shape the bud itself with one pattern. That's pretty much the way I've seen the bud done at other blacksmith conferences. It's kind of rare when you see somebody put all the labor and all the wrapped up petals for a bud. I don't recall seeing it. Anyways, we're trying to open this up. And I'm just trying to start them all, you know, get in there and get them away from being so tight to the middle from the stake treatment that we gave it. All right, let's see, let's lose the tongs. I need a little bit more dexterity now. Let's see here. Got one petal that's a little bit down there, and that's all right. Okay, let's go for this. All right, I'm down to my two in the middle to start. You know, I've already kind of got everything started. So one of them's got to be in the middle, and so I'm going to take my scrolling pliers and choose one, and I'm just going to scroll this one so that it's the first petal. And here's where you're going to scroll this beautiful little cone on the inside. I don't know if you can see the cone. See how I've got that started right there like that. Okay. Bring that in a little bit nicer. Take the second one, and we're going to scroll that one in a little bit tighter too on the overlap. Not too terrible right there. I like that. And for the insides, here's where your little jeweler pliers work good for this. And just like the first two petals, I just barely lay over a little bit. Just work it over just a little bit. Not too deep. The small one's kind of tough, but you can do it with these pliers. Just take small little bites, tiny little twists, and just stretch the copper a little bit. Make a little bit of a start. That's not terrible. Let's see, I need a little bit right here. So here we go. See, I've got this little bend started right here and right in here. That's what these little tiny little buggers do really good. So now, come in. And with these scrolling pliers, you can get down deep into the petal where they turn the corner and chase down to the center of the flower. You can kind of give those a little bit of a turn now, down deep. Now that you've got them all started. And you can just, now with these with these little scrollers, just massage that rose over a little bit. All these little tips now. A little turn in. Kind of what I'm going to do here, I'm going to get down deep in here. And I'm going to turn in. I'm kind of turning in and pulling in at the same time. Turning and pulling it in. And that gets it a little bit closer to where I want it. Pull that back. Like I said, it takes a little hand strength. You know, if you got tons to do, you're here all day doing it. There we go. I like that a lot. That's pretty cool. All right. Same thing. Get in there like that. A little like that. I'm going to roll this one down. Roll this back. Same thing here. Get into this pedal. This one's a little low. It's all right. So I'm going to twist and pull it in. And I'm going to do the opposite on this side. I'm going to twist toward me and pull the bottom in a little bit, and come back, roll the outside a little bit more. Like so. Getting there, getting there. Close them up a little bit. Let's see. I told you the rose flower was going to take a long time. There's just too many steps, and there's too many petals, and there's just a lot of it. But I'm telling you, you know, if you really want to make something really nice for your old lady on your anniversary, this is where it's at. You know, make her up a bouquet of real roses. I mean, a bouquet, you'll be there for days, but make her up some real roses, man. She'll keep that for the rest of her life, and it'll be cool. You can always look at it. She'll love it. Alrighty. Okay. Not terrible. It's actually starting to come alive, right? Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. So this is generally how you're gonna keep working it. You can keep fine-tuning it a lot more, okay? I'll fine-tune it, you know, just the general shape. Or maybe a little bit more when I'm done. Again, you know, I will put a cordless drill on here, and I will clean that up like that. That's fair for right at the moment. Okay, now the star is, use your thumbs at first and just press these down. And press them down. Bend that back. Wow. Okay, take your small ball peen and just try to work these corners in a little. It's okay if the star goes wherever. Let the metal move where it wants to. It doesn't matter. I'll try to tap with the ball peen on each side of the vein and try to get the star to conform a little bit to my pedal. Like that. Hoping that you could see the advantages of learning how to do these in copper before you start to make them in steel, because as you can see, you can't just do all this stuff and hold it if it were steel. And so you kind of need to figure out your techniques and everything and how you're going to do it hot once you want to make a steel one. Because most of the techniques are the same. They really, really are for the rose. You still need a pattern that looks almost just like the one I showed you. You don't have to start with guitar picks like I did. All right, that's not terrible right there. All right, so this is probably going to go in the welding jiggy right now. And we're going to have to get these stems going. And yeah, so that goes on. I'm going to have to get a little something to hold it. And I'm also going to have to go turn the bottles on for us. Perfect. I like that. There's the short, there's the long. Okay, I'm going to turn the bottles on. Be right back. Okay. All right, we're almost done, pretty much. hard part's done. Let's fire it up. Striker. There's my cone. Get a little flux. Okay, so now what I've got is I got a piece of tubing, and I've got, well, that moved and that's not great. Here, watch this. Just have to shape it. Bend that up a little bit more. Okay, I like that. So what I was starting to say is I've got tubing for my stem, and I've got solid stock here for the stem with the leaves. And so what you kind of got to do is put all that heat on this 1/4 inch piece of solid stock first. And just get that showing some good red color. And then I'll back off to the tubing here. Keep the red tubing, torch on the, get that solid bar, keep it hot. I'm waiting for color. Waiting for color, not yet. It's getting there now. Let's see what I got. Come on. Sweet. Sweet. Okay, there's that one. Where's the other? Set this up. This one I kind of want here. Yeah, what's wrong with that? Put some more flux on here. Okay, I got all my heat on the 1/4 inch. Waiting for the 1/4 inch to show color. Okay, we're there. Got a little ball on there. I'm going to use that to, there it is, there's the timing. Okay, now I can add some more. Alrighty, not bad. Okay, got to turn it over. And again, old enough to know better, but sometimes young enough to try. I'm sure it might be cold where the very end of this stem is, but I don't want to get burned. Okay. There's that. Okie dokie. Let's do this side here. This side made it up a little better, or at least this particular one made it better. You're going to sand everything, it won't matter. Almost done, folks. Nothing fast about gas welding. It happens at the speed it happens. So, there we go. There's enough braze on it there. Bam. Let's do this side better. Okay, that concludes that. Ooh, it's warm in the shop today. We've had a bunch of heat spells, 100-degree days and everything. Okay, so we got to cool this whole thing off. I'm going to put it in the quench tank right here. Okay. So as I said, you'll fine tune this a little bit more. By all means, fine tune. You're going to take the, bend these out a little bit, get them away so you can sand. You'll bend this out a little bit so you can sand. And you'll take a sander. Well, a little more. Okay. All right. So next we're going to put a little life in the stem. And so you'll take these large guys that are the large scrollers like that and come in from behind and from underneath and basically just get this like this and put a little curve in them like that. Put a little curve in it. That's all you're going to do. See, like that, just like that, it comes to life. And again, everything's already soft because when you welded it, it's been annealed, so it's ready to bend. I'm kind of double blocked against my rosebud. All right, so what can I do? I need to get a smaller set. Or I'm not double blocked. Let's see. You know, another thing you can do too, because it is copper, you can just kind of twist it and get in there. There you go. What was I thinking? Should have twisted it. All right, let's get in there. All right, this one's not cooperating because I got some braze a little lower. There we go. Let's bend these ones here. And this one here. And this one can go this way. And this one can go that way. And this one can go this way. Oh, twist it back. There we go. That's what's fighting me. There we go. That one can go that way. And this one can go this way. There we go. All right, so we're getting some life into these stems. You can keep bending them till your heart's content, till you're happy. I'd like this one a little farther away, so we're gonna tweak that one up. Okay, so now I can try to bring a little bit of life into it and put this one in front. And this one can go behind because it's supposed to be a little taller anyways. And probably, let's see if I can do this without kinking it. that, that, and that, and that. All right, and all that's really left is this silly little star. Grab your scrolling pliers and just kind of go natural. Be quick. That's my best recommendation. Don't think about it. Just do it. Just bend it. Just tweak it. Don't even worry about it. No rhyme, no reason, no method, no plan. Just tweak it. That's what I recommend. It always comes out better when you do it like that. Be random. There we go. Okay. There's our copper rose. Okay. Polish it all out, brush it up and everything, make it pretty. What you can do is you can paint these with some Krylon clear coat. In fact, I paint all my flowers with Krylon clear coat. It's pretty good. It does it yellow. If the flowers are going to be inside, it'll live forever. If they're on a gate cameo, you just have to encourage the client to go out there and shoot some on there like every year, and they'll stay pristine. If the client wants to see these antique and turn green, okay, which they absolutely will, sometimes that's what they want to see. So you can go ahead and just don't do anything, and it'll start turning itself green. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I really appreciate your patience. I hope that you enjoyed working with me on the rose here. They are a nice thing to give to the old lady for an anniversary gift, or a mom on Mother's Day, or a sister, or all kinds of cool little things. So it's a nice little standalone gift. If you can figure out how to sell these and make a living, please shoot me a message, because I'd like to get in on that. Awesome. Anyways, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure showing you guys the flowers and the flower series. If there's any questions or little details that you wanted to know, just ask me. Get in the message and the comments and stuff, and just ask me in the comments. I'll do my best to get back and talk with you. So that's it. 10 videos on making flowers. I tend to do a lot of flowers, and I tend to do a lot of vine work and grapes and leaves. As you saw that other 10-part video series. So the last one, we're gonna weld everything up in the gate cameo and everything, and I'm gonna paint it, and I'm gonna go deliver it, because I've spent a lot of time doing this, and it's time to pay the bills, at the end of the month. So we're gonna finish this up with this, and we're gonna call this the flower series, and there'll be just one last video I'll post after we install it, the finished product, the paint job, and everything else. So hey, it's been an honor. Hope you guys had fun with me making flowers, all the different kinds. These are pretty much the 4 common ones. So get your tooling up, get all your pliers up and your set up, and be ready to make flowers. Thanks for joining me. I'm Arnie. This is Black Butte Forge, and have a great day. Go swimming out the lake. I'll talk to you next time. Bye now.